And I guess I've been dreaming, 'cause now that I'm woke, everything that I see ain't what it seems, man. I guess I've been dreaming, 'cause now that I'm here, what I feel motivates me with reason. I guess I've been dreaming, 'cause now that I'm woke, everything that I see ain't what it seems, man. I guess I've been dreaming, 'cause now that I'm here, what I feel motivates me with reason. I guess I've been dreaming.
Oh, in there, what it is? What in the world? Oh, they got me down. That's some bleach on my back. Dang, how that happened? What? Anyways, peace and love to the guys and goddesses and high vibrating species of the planet. How we living today? Good people. You know what I'm talking about? How we living? Academy salute to you. You feel me? Thanks for joining me. Welcome back to class. You know what I mean? And we're running down another one. You already know. We still in the SCP building, running amok, ripping through their files, seeing what all they got to offer us. You know what I'm talking about? What they been lying about and stuff like that. You already know how we do. You know what I'm saying? We just go check them out. We file through that thing. We looking and stuff like, ooh, what that is. You know what I'm talking about? Check that out. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We're going to pass out these files, you know what I'm talking about? So, welcome back to the channel. I salute you. You know what I'm saying? If you have returned to class, you feel me? Because we are just learning about the SCPs. That's all we're simply doing is just learning about SCPs and the ins and the outs and all of the abouts. You feel me? So, welcome to Academy 7. You know what I mean? And I am your host, 7. If you didn't know, you're nada. But I hope everybody doing good out there. I hope we high vibing, staying out of the way, you know what I'm saying? Keeping the head on that swivel, you feel me? And keeping all your energies on all sectors protected at all costs. I hope we have when practicing all these things and, you know what I'm saying, for the most part, staying out of the way, using our critical thinking and every other thing, you know what I'm saying? Due diligence, all that good stuff, you know what I'm saying? Keeping the oil, operating in love, all that good stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I hope we all been keeping it in, taking it in, and checking her out, you know what I'm saying? Making sure we're good out there. But for the most part, we got the Manna Charitable Foundation. Manna Charitable Foundation. Don't ask me. I can't give you. I can't brief you. So we're about to get briefed together. So I hope you got what you need, class, because I do. You know what I'm saying? And without further ado, y'all, we gonna get to what it is that we do. And if you're new, pull up a chair, ask no questions, just go back through and get yourself briefed on what we've been going through so far, and you know what I'm saying, catch up to speed. We're not gonna leave you behind. Just catch up to speed. You got plenty of time, no rush. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. No pressure. It would help me in the algorithm, but no pressure. And let's get a bustin', shall we?
The Manna Charitable Foundation.
Yeah.
Most paranormal
relief where it belongs.
In the SCP universe consider themselves to
we
be
could use a lot of that where it belongs,
and that they
right?
are doing the right thing. This includes the SCP Foundation, the Global Occult Coalition, the Serpent's Hand, the Church of the Broken God, and even the Sarkic cults. From an outside point of view, though, most of these groups do some pretty objectionable things from time to time, and you certainly wouldn't refer to the majority of them as charitable in any sense. The Manna Charitable Foundation, on the other hand, have a pretty simple mission statement.
What's that?
Utilize any means necessary to provide assistance to those in dire need. In other words, this is a group that possesses knowledge of anomalies, and even gets their hands on some, and uses them occasionally to help out those that need it. This is a mostly commendable goal, in theory, but not one without complications, as we'll see.
That's like that movie, what was that, it was an anime. It was Alien vs. Monsters. With Susan. If you know, you know.
The Manna Charitable Foundation is a humanitarian, non-profit organization founded by individuals with knowledge of the paranormal. Most anomalies that exist are pretty dangerous, but as I've shown in my Beneficial SCPs video, there are some that could conceivably be utilized to assist people or save lives.
I'm sure.
The MCF seeks to help out those in need due to conflict, natural disaster, environmental decay, supernatural harm, or other events of calamitous effect on human life. Their charter claims that they do these activities in accordance with the regulations set by the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs and abide by all lawful restrictions. They will never use violence or sanction any violent interactions, and will use what they refer to as abnormal assets, as long as doing so does not cause greater harm than the absence of their use. They accept pretty much anyone into their organization as long as they are fully committed to the group's goals and their mode of operations. They don't have any single headquarters, as that tends to be a bad idea in the SCP universe, but rather they have 5 main offices spread across the globe, in Canada, Spain, China, Australia, and South Africa. A group known as the International Board comprises the leaders and decision makers of the MCF, consisting of the highest-ranking members of the organization, as well as representatives of some of the MCF's most important donors and experts. The MCF is not an entirely secret organization, and they actually operate in a limited capacity within the public eye as a normal charity. Most of the members of the MCF operate in secret, though.
That's how you hide in plain sight right there.
Different front charities in small clusters known as mission work groups. These are the groups sent out across the world to utilize anomalies to aid those in need, concealed from government and military supervision, and even obscured from other mission work groups. The MCF continues to exist due to an extensive set of mysterious donors, individuals and organizations that donate funds and anomalies to the MCF for various reasons. The group's ultimate goal is to create a world that is rid of disease, famine, poverty, and armed conflict, and they are prepared to use any means necessary to achieve this goal. None of this is really surprising, and this is all just the info that the MCF would be glad to share with people interested, so we'll have to start digging to see how their operations are going. As usual, we'll be looking at a few SCP articles for some insight, which means that these are anomalies that the SCP Foundation are interested in and have more than likely taken from the MCF to contain.
Well, damn, y'all just take it. See what I'm saying?
Smaller anomalies that
y'all
the MCF
just
still
give it
holds
up.
onto, so we're just looking at some of the exceptions. Typically, in the case of contained SCPs related to the MCF, they are examples of the MCF having apparently good intentions but terrible execution. This is pretty evident with SCP-1501, a series of humanoid robots constructed of copper, iron, plastic, and animal hair, with the words Manna Charitable Foundation Official Charity Delegate embossed onto their backs. Each of these robots has some method of collecting funds, such as a bucket or box, and when left free, will move to areas commonly used by charity collectors, such as street corners, office buildings, and traffic lights. Here, they will begin asking for and collecting money for a variety of charities and causes, ranging from poverty to AIDS to underperforming MCF facilities to various endangered species of birds. Once funds are collected, the robots will go to transfer the money to the correct charity.
For real, man. You know what? Let's just say, if this were a thing, right? Humor me here, y'all. That wouldn't be a bad idea. It wouldn't be a bad idea to get your money. Man, you know how many people just willingly, just carelessly, just thoughtlessly, just drop the money in the bucket. I mean, come on, y'all, think about it. Think about it now. How many times have you done it? I mean, if you haven't done it, it's cool. And if you ain't one that give, you know what I'm saying, if you don't mess with sort of thing, it's cool. You know what I mean? I have. I mean, I'm gonna sit here and say that I haven't. I have. You know what I'm saying? I give money to the homeless all the time. For one, you know what I mean? So if this was actually a thing, yeah, they done got thousands of dollars out of me. So I already know. But yeah, definitely wouldn't be a bad idea. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So even if this, like, okay, let's just take the SCP off of it. Let's take that off for a second, right? And let's just call this anything. GoFundMe, anything, right? Who was to say that this really ain't what's going on behind closed doors? I could slap a label on anything and call this what it is. If you want to put some money in it, put some money in it. If you don't, you don't, right? Right? So I definitely wouldn't doubt that. You know what I'm saying? This is
or fund, either by sending it through the postal system, delivering it by hand, or sending each bill individually by use of birds. This is all well and good, and if things stopped there, we could commend the MCF, but of course it doesn't stop there. If someone hands off money to the same robot multiple times, it will begin to follow the person and observe any financial transactions they perform. It will follow them to their home, their work, and pretty much everywhere else for several weeks until it has a good idea of what kind of charities the person is likely to donate to. It will then begin to ask this person for donations for those specific charities. Creepy, but things get really bad when a 1501 entity comes across a wealthy person that is likely to donate to charities. This person will become the robot's sole focus, and it will send donation request letters to them constantly, alter their mail, and even disguise themselves as people familiar to the person. This will go on until either physically stopped or the authorities are alerted, in which case the robot will flee and become inert if captured. In an interview with a man targeted by a 1501 entity, he says that he came home one day, took off his coat, and saw his wife looking into a mirror, but her arms were completely still. When he asked her what's wrong, she turned to him, but it was clearly not his wife, with its face too angled and glass eyes. The entity proceeded to open its mouth by more than 6 inches, its jaw fell off, and it proceeded to ask the man over and over if he has considered the plight of the homeless. So far, around 60 of these entities have been captured,
with no
and
jaw?
they have been growing increasingly violent in their demands for charitable donations. Apparently, the MCF isn't happy with whoever donated these robots to them, as it makes them look pretty bad. A similar case of good intentions but bad execution is SCP-1176, a mummified corpse of a human male that likely died sometime in the 10th or 11th century. Although 1176 is clinically dead, its brain still shows a constant level of electrical activity consistent with deep sleep. In place of all the normal bodily fluids inside of a human being, 1176 contains a viscous, golden-colored fluid, chemically identical to clover honey. This fluid exudes from 1176's pores, roughly 0.2 liters per hour, although this can rapidly increase if left unchecked. The substance was found to contain around 2,500 calories per 15 milliliters, with significant quantities of essential vitamins and nutrients. There are no long-term side effects from eating it, and it prevents physical sensations of hunger for 14 to 18 hours. Unfortunately, it's only edible in this way by people of blood type AB positive, and anyone else that consumes more than 0.5 milliliters of the substance will experience a severe allergic reaction a few hours later. In 98.7% of tests with incompatible subjects, the reaction ended with death, and the symptoms were consistent with an individual receiving an incompatible blood transfusion.
Salute D-Class.
The Foundation tracked SCP-1176 down by tracing the source of shipments of honey that had been distributed to famine-stricken regions of Ethiopia, which had resulted in thousands of deaths. The mummy was in a sarcophagus in an MCF facility, with a spigot installed into the sarcophagus to extract the fluid. Testing was done by the SCP Foundation afterwards to see how much of the fluid the mummy could potentially produce, for some reason, reaching an upper limit of 55 liters per hour. After 10 hours, a sudden spike in brain activity was detected, and 1176 became conscious, opening its eyelids and flailing wildly. It engaged in distressed vocalizations and attempted to crawl across the test chamber. Staff personnel attempted to restrain the entity, resulting in one of its hands being severed at the wrist. Sedation attempts proved unsuccessful, so they put it back in the sarcophagus and set the lid on top. The entity continued to vocalize and strike the inside of the sarcophagus for around 3 hours before returning to its previous state. This really seems like a good candidate for euthanization, as we can barely call this one beneficial.
It sounds like y'all should have had some mercury in that motherfucker.
Always make things worse, though, as shown with SCP-1135, an isolated village in India. The village contains over 100 houses, several places of business, and a Hindu temple, all of which are larger and built with far more technologically advanced materials than other villages in the region. They also all include running hot and cold water, electricity, and plumbing systems. The roads in the village, as well as for 2 kilometers around the village, are fully paved with asphalt concrete. An investigation revealed that all the building materials and permanent fixtures contained strands of organic fiber running through them, which extend up to 3 meters below the ground and connect to one another, forming an organic network. The fibers grow, repair themselves, and absorb nutrients from the soil, making 1135 a single living organism similar to a fungus. New buildings are occasionally spontaneously created by 1135, and any damaged structures or fixtures are quickly repaired, basically growing out of the ground. The rate and capacity for growth and repair of 1135 is dependent on how much sustenance it receives. It absorbs water and nutrients from the soil, but also consumes any waste left within the boundaries of the village, causing it to deteriorate and decompose rapidly, leaving behind no remains. It will not perform this process on any living organic tissue or objects being actively used in the village, and if it goes too long without being fed, it will only take down some buildings to absorb the nutrients. However, if a human or animal causes substantial or repetitive damage to 1135 buildings, it will lash out in the form of constructing elaborate traps to ward off, injure, or kill attackers. These range from pitfalls to caltrops to complicated traps that would indicate a higher intelligence. Other than this, though, 1135 was completely peaceful, and the villagers seemed to enjoy living there until the Foundation stumbled upon it. The residents said that an organization named the Manna Charitable Foundation had orchestrated the process, referring to it as a sustainable housing development scheme. The SCP Foundation kicked everyone out, gave them amnestics, and fenced off the village, keeping it alive by dumping waste from a nearby facility into it. One of the most amusing experiments that the MCF attempted, again with less than successful results, was SCP-514. 514 is a flock of homing pigeons that project a zone around them, roughly about 500 meters in radius, that nullifies all weapons and thoughts of aggression. Every known type of weapon that enters this zone will be rendered inoperable, usually permanently if left inside of it for too long. Firearms will jam or misfire, explosives are rendered inert, and melee weapons decay into dust. Humans and animals that enter this zone will suddenly feel very calm and content, regardless of previous emotions, and will be unable to carry out a violent action. 514 came to the Foundation's attention when numerous reports of weapons stockpiles being destroyed in Africa started cropping up. This was originally written off as due to poor maintenance on the weapons, but there were reports of seeing a flock of homing pigeons at the same places, not a common sight in Africa. While investigating, the SCP Foundation bumped into a team from the MCF, who were also tracking the birds, as they had been the ones who released them in Africa. Their plan was to end all conflict in Africa, although they had no way to control the birds' movements, and the effects of the zone were only temporary for humans. This meant that they would simply resume hostilities with what weapons they still had afterwards, and it left affected areas defenseless when invaded by their unaffected neighbors. The SCP Foundation did manage to find a way to control the birds' movement, but the MCF team challenged them for custody, as they had been their possession. Since both groups were under the effects of 514 at the time, they decided to settle the matter through a single round of rock, paper, scissors. The SCP Foundation won, and the MCF team fled the area. In their testing, they found that prolonged exposure will eventually lead to any weapon being reduced to dust, and the effect can somehow discern if any item will be used for violent intent or not, thus neutralizing it accordingly. The reason that the birds still aren't contained, just controlled, is because any personnel actually sent to properly contain them refuses to complete the mission due to the effect. Any long-range devices or drones that are attempted to be used are rendered inoperable. MTF Lambda 4, bird watchers, are assigned to monitor the flock and use the means at their disposal to keep it away from population centers. All members of the bird watchers are required to be proficient in various non-violent competitive activities, including sports, board games, card games, trivia, riddles, and of course, rock, paper, scissors. It was a good anomaly, but the MCF had a bit too lofty of a goal in mind for that one. Like I said, we're mostly looking at anomalies that the MCF has used and failed with, either for bad execution or the SCP Foundation coming in to put a stop to it. There's certainly plenty more anomalies that the MCF are using that we don't know about. Small, minor things that allow them to help people to a greater degree than a mundane charity could. The MCF, for all intents and purposes, seemed to be a group of lofty idealists that discovered a world filled with anomalies and decided that some of them could be used for good rather than being locked away. Whether or not that's actually what they are and whether or not they're right is a matter for debate.
Right. Definitely a matter of debate there, you know what I'm talking about? Because, you know, you can never trust the people that don't want to really put nobody else on game. Let's see what we got here, y'all. It's like our final ambition is the creation of a world where our activities are no longer necessary nor required. Okay. Okay. That is a world rid of disease, famine, poverty, and armed conflict. Okay, gotcha. We at the Manna Charitable Foundation ultimately strive towards a world united in health, plenty, prosperity, and peace. My peace, when I give y'all peace, is positive energy always creates elevation. So we always on the rise. I mean, not peace as in be still. We're not trying to be still for nothing, because nothing really ever is ever still. Everything vibrates, so nothing's ever just completely still. So my peace, which is not necessarily my peace, it's our peace, if you will. And we'll use whatever resources are made available to us to achieve this goal, no matter how distant. I mean, but see, the thing is, when you say shit like this, when you say stuff like this, whatever resources made, you know what I'm talking about? That's when people get declassed. And we're I don't, you know what I mean? I think I can speak for anybody here that's unaware of this sort of thing. Let's just say, you know what I'm saying? Humor me here. If this were a thing like that, that we wouldn't be particularly fond of being the guinea pig. I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure I can speak for a lot of people there when I say that. We're not trying to be the guinea pig on no shit like this, man. You feel me? Like, for real. Let's just keep it a buck here, y'all. You know what I mean? I'm not me. I'm not trying to, no. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to guinea pig a damn thing. You know what I'm saying? White rabbit, Pinky and the Brain, no. No. I'm good. I'm using my CT now to, you know what I'm saying, gather information, intel. What is this? What are these recon missions? You know what I'm saying? We're on some recon missions around this thing. Trying to get us some intake. Like I said, I ain't trying to be, you know what I'm saying, one get caught slipping. So if it's real, it's real. If it's not, it's not. We'll find out one way or another, somehow, some way. You know what I mean? It's the truth. The truth is out there, and it shall surface. Especially now that we're, you know what I'm saying, the age of Aquarius. You know what I'm saying? The age of knowing. Information is everywhere. It is vast. It's all over the place. So it's gonna be your perspective again. You know what I'm saying? How you perceiving this information? How you receiving it? I mean, like, we could put this all the way to the side and we could just talk about some real lifetime on some real timeline deals. You know what I'm talking about? It's whatever you perceiving and whatever you receiving, how you gonna do it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, they seem pretty harmless. You know what I'm saying? But just like he said, you know what I'm saying? We'll see. We can only see because seats change. I'm gonna say that right there. You know what I'm saying? Seats change. That's trading of power. You know what I'm saying? These things change. People's passions, ambitions. You know what I'm saying? Things change, man. And when we dealing with this, when we dealing with such powers like this, you feel me? You like you feel me? So that's one of them things, like, you really have to take into account as to who really running these operations and what's really on their mind. Because if they find something that can be like that world K-class, K-class scenario, you know what I'm saying? Then what we working with when this man's mind go to straight left? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people start out on the right track, you know. We come on now. Like I said, if we're just talking about the regular timeline here, we know that a lot of people's minds start out on the right track. They went in it for the right reasons, and ultimately they turned. So we got to take that into account as to any directors over these foundations or over these departments. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Close eyes need to be kept on all these people, because you just never know. Especially, you know what I'm saying? Especially, like, listen, like, we went through the Vogan, right? We go through the ones through the Vogan. So some of the SCPs, you know what I'm saying? And when you listen to the interviews, when the guys be talking to the dudes, you know what I'm saying, debriefing them and trying to see what's going on, how the way they just be so aggressive and be like, man, damn all that shit you talking about, boy. Give me the information. I don't care, you know what I'm saying? Wipe the sweat off your forehead and start talking. You feel me? We ain't finna give you no McDowell's. We ain't finna give you none of that. You feel me? Until you say, you know what I'm saying, let us know what the hell going on. And you just damn got away with your life, and you shook out of your mind, and you can't even get your thoughts together, let alone your words, and they don't want to hear none of that. They just want your mouth open and debriefing. Man, that's cold and heartless right there, man. So yes, you man, you better check these people's temperatures. Real talking. Let's check their temperatures, y'all. You feel me? Excuse me. So that's what we're here for. You know what I'm talking about? Keep y'all head on that swivel, man. Don't forget to keep yourself spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally protected out here. You feel me? Do not let this world drive you crazy. You feel me? Stay clear of the BS. Keep your CT on. That's critical thinking for those that are new and don't really know what that is. That's critical thinking. Keep your critical thinking cap on your mind, man. For real. Because some shit gets by you real quick. Like, you know what I'm talking about? And you know what I'm saying? Y'all continue to operate in oil. You know what I'm saying? That's that oil, operating love. You feel me? Keep your oil on you. Operate in love. You feel me? And stay high vibing at all times. Protect your energy. You know what I mean? Just protect your energy, good people. Academics, I appreciate y'all joining me. And for those that are new, you know what I'm saying, like, share, and subscribe. No pressure. Just, you feel me? If you're rocking with me, I really would appreciate that, you feel me? And I appreciate y'all rocking it out with me anyway. You know what I mean? So, until next time, because we got a list and we about to bust that thing out. We're almost done with it, actually. And I do salute those that have sent in requests of videos for us to check out in the foundation, because I've actually been enjoying the extra ride, actually going inside the building and checking out the departments. So that's been fun. So I really appreciate that. So let's keep her going, guys. You know what I mean? Peace.